I feel like a fraud. And here's the part that pisses me off. It's not because I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like a fraud because I finally started doing something for myself. Like what? Now I'm supposed to just trust my own judgment? A company could hand me a department, a budget, and a disaster created by 3 people with better titles, and I'd get to work. I didn't need a pep talk. I didn't need another certification. I didn't need to ask Chad whether I was qualified to put out the fire that Chad himself started. Apparently, I can carry somebody else's authority all day long. The minute I use my own, whether it's this channel, a business with my husband, a workshop with my name on it, my brain calls security. It's the same brain and the same skills, but suddenly it's like, yeah, hi, quick question. Who said that you could do all of this, huh? I said I could, you stupid brain. Somehow doing any of that without a boss standing behind me feels less like experience and more like I'm running a scam. I made an imposter syndrome video like a 1.5 years ago, but this time I realized the problem wasn't that I felt like a fraud. It was that I still needed somebody else to tell me that I wasn't. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Sheila, and I am not a coach, I'm not a guru, I'm just your 55-year-old internet auntie who got laid off, lost her entire grading system in one 30-minute meeting, and has been wandering around ungraded ever since, like a little feral outlaw raccoon with no hall pass. It's terrifying. So no, this isn't a video where I'm going to hold your hand and tell you that you're enough, which you are, but I've been there. I've made that video. This is the one where we figure out why, at 55, I still trust the judgment of people who aren't even here anymore, more than I trust my own. Because somewhere in this mess, I finally found the thing that was actually keeping me feeling like a fraud all of these years. And it wasn't the doubt. It was something that I was doing on purpose every day, like the good girl that I was trained to be. I will share that with you later. Now, everything that I have built since my layoff in January of 2024 is self-appointed. Nobody hired me for this channel. Nobody interviewed me and my husband Doug for our plumbing business. My consulting runs through an LLC, a company that I created that has my name, that employs me, which means that basically I gave myself the job. My brain just refuses to count that one. It says it's nepotism. I didn't lose my confidence. I just lost the people who used to tell me when I was allowed to trust it. I'm not pretending to know things that I don't know. I know what I'm doing. I just don't trust myself to be the one who says so. Now, I'm the overcompensation queen. I overprepare everything. I work on scripts for weeks. I prepare brand deals like the sponsor's going to send in forensic accountants. I have Trello boards for my Trello board because apparently the first board can't be trusted. By the time I finally send something out, I've built it, rebuilt it, checked it from 6 directions, and made a backup plan in case my own judgment suddenly collapses. I explain myself to death. One more caveat, one more, but I can be totally wrong. One more smiley face so no one thinks that I've gotten too sure of myself. By the end, I've added so many disclaimers that I'm not even sure that I still mean it. And I polish everything to death, right? Every email, every script, every offer. I keep telling myself good enough is good enough, and my brain says, nah, nah, fam, we're doing perfection here. The problem is perfection never tells me where it lives. So I keep working on things that were done 9 revisions ago, trying to reach a finish line that keeps moving every time I get close. There's a member of our community named Debbie, and I'll put her website in the description, but basically she helps women who've spent years in corporate figure out how to build something of their own. Now, this is not sponsored, FYI, and she's not some guru who read about corporate in a book. She lived it her whole career. She gets me. Hell, she gets all of us. I have never worked with a coach before, but honestly, it's been one of the best things that I've done since my layoff. We've been talking for a couple of months, and she's been helping me sort out what I actually want, decide what I'm doing next, and then she checks whether I actually did it, which honestly is quite rude, but apparently necessary. Deb is the reason that I finally created a workshop. Then I priced it wildly too low, limited it to 8 people because 9 apparently becomes Madison Square Garden, and prepared enough material to answer every question except why I prepared this much. Deb is clearly helping. She's just not licensed for miracles. Now, it's a 90-minute workshop about why you feel stuck and how old rules keep making decisions for a life that doesn't fit anymore. The link's in the description if you want one of the 8 seats. The minute I put my name on that, my brain opened a full federal investigation into who authorized me to lead it. Apparently 30 years in corporate America, 2.5 years rebuilding my life in public, hundreds of conversations with people going through the same thing, and an entire YouTube channel still don't count as qualifications because nobody above me stamped approved on my forehead. Okay, so be honest with me because I know I'm not the only one doing this. What do you do when nobody else is there to tell you that you're ready? Put it in the comments where I read every single one. For years, I thought I needed more confidence, and it turns out that I had plenty. I just kept sending it upstairs for approval. And once I saw who taught me how to do that, boy, did I get mad. So where did this come from? Because I promise you, I wasn't born asking for permission. No toddler is out there going, hey, quick question, but who authorized this juice? I was trained. We all were. I've been graded since I was 5 years old. Gold stars, report cards, GPAs, offer letters, performance reviews. Every "you're good" I've ever received came from somebody standing above me. I never once had to decide whether I was good at something. Somebody else always decided for me and sent me the results. Nobody ever tells you that someday you're going to need your own opinion of yourself. Nobody. And really, why would they? A woman who's still collecting gold stars is very easy to manage. For years, I would have told you that I was confident, but confidence that has to be renewed by management every quarter isn't confidence. It's a subscription. Then the layoff canceled my subscription. So why did the imposter feeling get worse after that? That's what I couldn't figure out for the longest time. I had more experience than at any point in my entire life. Why did I feel less real? I blamed grief. I blamed my age. I blamed hormones because honestly, in this house, hormones are always a suspect. But it wasn't any of that. The layoff didn't just take my paycheck, it took my judges, right? Decades of judges gone in one calendar invite titled Quick Sync. Now, here's the part that stings, and I'm really sorry, but you're in it. There are 53,000 of you here. You have left beautiful, heartfelt comments that made me ugly cry. And my husband, Doug, he looks at me like I hung the moon. And Posey over here, she follows me around like I'm made of ham. And my brain won't count any of it, not one bit. You know why? Because none of you are my boss. That's it. That's the whole glitch. My brain was trained to only accept reviews from above, and there's nobody above me anymore. So 53,000 people saying this helped me gets filed under nice. And one rude comment from a stranger gets filed under official data because apparently the stranger sounds like management. Yeah, apparently one asshole in the comments outranks all y'all. I don't have a confidence problem. I have an obedience problem. Confidence I could have worked on. Obedience I didn't even know I was doing. Because that's the actual truth of this thing, and it took me 2.5 years to see it. I don't feel like a fraud because I lack experience. I feel like a fraud because the people who used to certify my experience are gone. And I was trained to trust their judgment much more than my own. What actually helped was realizing that there are two different doubts in my head, and they don't work for the same people. One of them is actually useful, right? She asks stuff like, hey, did you prepare? Can you back this up? Could this hurt somebody? Now, I like her. She makes the work better. She's the reason I'm not out here confidently spreading nonsense. The other one asks, who the hell do you think you are? What if somebody important disagrees with you? What if you fall on your face and everybody sees it? And you'll notice that none of those questions make anything better. Nothing gets more accurate because I asked who I think I am. She's not checking on the work. She's checking whether anybody said I could do this. So when do we say screw it? Because that's the question, right? That's why you're here. Well, it's not when the fear goes away, because it doesn't. It's not when you finally feel legitimate because, hey, I'm still waiting and I'm the one making this video. And it's definitely not when everybody agrees that you're ready because nobody's coming to agree. They're all busy. You say screw it the second the doubt stops making the thing better and starts asking who signed off. Okay? That's it. One question. Is this doubt improving the work or is it looking for a supervisor? If it's improving the work, listen to it. But if it's looking for a supervisor, screw it. Because that was my biggest mistake right there. I kept reading the discomfort as evidence. Ooh, this feels bad. I must not be ready. No, of course it feels bad. I'm doing something that nobody assigned me. Feeling uncomfortable doesn't mean I'm a fraud. It means I'm making the decision without sending it upstairs first. And after 50 years of asking, of course that's going to feel weird. It's supposed to feel like this. Yeah, nobody told me that either. And once I understood all of that, I had to go back and watch my old imposter video because I ended that thing wrong. And the way I ended it turned out to be the whole problem. Here's the thing about asking permission that I finally saw. If somebody else says that you're qualified and you fail, hey, they misjudged. It's not your fault. But if you say you're qualified and you fail, oof, that one's all yours. There is nowhere to hide. So I kept asking. It wasn't even doubt half the time, it was hiding. And that's why my old video ended wrong. I ended with "you're enough." And I meant it too. But look at what "you're enough" actually is. It's a verdict. It's one more thing that you wait around for somebody to hand to you. All I did in that video was fire the scary judge and hire a nicer one. I was still on trial. I just like the new judge better. So here's where I've actually landed. I have spent all this time waiting to feel qualified enough to stop asking permission. And it finally hit me. The thing I'd been doing on purpose every day was asking for permission, not asking for help, asking somebody else to make my own judgment valid. That was the fraud, not the doubt, the asking. The one thing that I was doing voluntarily every single day, like the good girl I was trained to be. And yeah, I'm still doing the workshop. Nobody appointed me. I appointed me. Because an imposter is somebody playing a part that isn't theirs, right? Well, the one part that was never mine was the one where somebody above me decides what I'm worth. I've been playing that role since I was 5 years old. I never auditioned for it. Someone just handed it to me with a gold star on it, and I said, thank you. And you know what? I finally figured out what authority actually is. It's not feeling sure. It's not never getting questioned. I get questioned daily, mostly by my own brain. It's just knowing what you know, knowing what you don't, and not needing a stranger to make it official. Now, every week I show up and talk about the midlife stuff that nobody warned us about. Work, money, mental health, starting over. If that sounds like your kind of place, please hit subscribe. I would love to have you here. Now, here's what happens once you stop asking for permission. You go to make your first real decision as your own boss, and you hit a question that stops you cold. What do I actually want? And if you're anything like me, you'll just sit there because nobody ever asked you that. They asked you what was needed, what was responsible, what everybody else required. But what do you want? Total blank. Let's talk about it here.